A number of years ago, my wife and I attended a marriage encounter weekend in Rye, New Hampshire. The encounter weekend is for couples who have a good marriage and want to make it better by focusing on each other and developing good communication techniques and skills. One thing that made me think on that weekend was the question, what do you have to live for? What do you want to live for? I came up with a lot of answers, like to see my children succeed in their lives, that they know that I am proud of them, that my wife and I share the same goal of our faith. We want to go to heaven and to continue to grow in our love for one another. Another thing that moved me was the statement, love is a decision. Since that time, I have learned that the nature of God is relational. God's love is expressed through the Trinity. They're a little family. God, who is love, decided to love us by sending Jesus to redeem us and open the gates of heaven for all. And he wants us to love him and our neighbor as we love ourselves. It sometimes comes as a shock to realize that striving for eternal life means mixing with all those people who we categorize as not acceptable to God. In other words, we put God in the box as well as the people we judge as being on the edge or over the edge, such as those who don't meet our expectations. St. Peter says it nicely when he says, "In truth, I see that God shows no partiality. Rather, in every nation, whoever fears him and acts uprightly is acceptable to him." Living in love with God and neighbor is an ideal image that has its own built-in tension. How do you stay close-knit and open to others? It is difficult in any family. Without God's grace, it would be impossible in a community of unrelated, diverse individuals. Here at the Parish of Christ the King, we take this challenge seriously by welcoming new parishioners, by reaching out to non-practicing Catholics, by creating and fostering opportunities to grow in faith for adults as well as teens. Now, when we question ourselves, what do I have to live for? Let's hope one of the reasons is to go to heaven. And if the decision to go to heaven, then that is the decision to love. So what do we intend to do about it? Where can I use my talents to either help me grow in love of God or grow in love of neighbor? A few months ago, I was at a seminar on lifelong faith formation, and the presenter made the observation that in the 1930s and 40s, the Social Security Act designated the age 65 as the retirement age. Since then, people are living up into the 90s and 100s. This was interpreted that in God's wisdom, he's allowing people over 65 or retirement age a chance to really get acquainted with him until we reach the threshold of life everlasting. So now we have time to really get to know who God is and who we are in his relationship. The opportunity to grow in faith and love is to get involved in activities offered here at the parish or in your own parish if you're visiting. We can find the various ministries on our website, and occasionally they are presented in our weekly bulletin or in a card such as this that gives you a whole preview of what we have for ministries. The need for ushers, to altar servers, to faith formation teachers for children and teens is always open to new people. We're always in need. But let me repeat what I said before. Living in love with God and neighbor is an ideal image that has its own built-in tension. How do you stay close-knit and open to others? It is difficult, but without God's grace, it would be impossible in a community of unrelated, diverse individuals. Our center is the Eucharist, Jesus himself. Let him lead us by his Spirit and continue to grow in his love, peace, and joy. God bless you.